Welcome to another episode, Nintendo News Daily. I'm your host, N64 Josh. We got a number of headlines that we're going to be talking about tonight, and I'm excited to jump into this one. I feel like it's been a bit of a slow start to this year, but excited to be chatting with you guys tonight. It is much later than our normal time. We're doing it in the evening tonight, so we'll see how this one goes. And we got a lot to look at, a lot to look at. So we're going to kick this thing right off with Donkey Kong Bonanza. First DLC in-game event of 2026 is underway. And I saw there was a tweet from Nintendo or a post on X, whatever it's called now, basically saying like, get ready to freeze. And this has to do with Donkey Kong Bonanza's Emerald Rush mode, and the latest challenge is now underway. The Freeze Break event kicked off today and is sticking around until the 27th. So you got plenty of time to grab the rewards. And much like the previous events, this is another pair of familiar faces from the DK series. Get the statue treatment. It's Tropical Freeze in the limelight this time with Tux and Lord Frederick statues available to all those who meet the event quota. So I want to talk a little bit about Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC. So, uh, my girlfriend's son got the Switch 2 for Christmas and got Donkey Kong Bonanza. He beat it real fast. Now he's just trying to 100% it. He was like, "Hey, you got the amiibo, right? And hey, you got the DLC." So I was able to share the DLC with him, which was cool. And he hasn't put this game down. He's loving Emerald Rush. Like, it honestly makes me sit back and just kind of like reevaluate so much when it comes to games and just how vast the audience is and how many different perspectives there are for all of this stuff. Because I'm just like, we've talked about this DLC kind of being like, it's okay. He can't get enough of it. He's loving this mode. He all he wants to do is collect all of these statues, and he's having a great time with it. So like it's just really cool to see. Really, really, really cool to see. So, uh, Nady Nay is here. What's going on? Steak is here. Good to see you, my friend. And so anybody else that's just lurking, I see there's quite a few of you already here. So welcome on in, everybody. We're gonna continue right on here with what's called Sail Forth's free Switch 2 edition upgrade is bound to float your boat. So let's see, Sail Forth floated onto Switch back in 2022 with its adorable seafaring adventures, reminding us of a beautiful blend of No Man's Sky and Wind Waker. A little over 3 years on, developer Festive Vector and publisher the Quantum Astrophysicists Guild have launched a new version to make the most of Switch 2's fancy features. Sailforth Switch 2 Edition is as it is creatively called, is now available in the Switch eShop for 19.99 or as a free upgrade pack for all those who already own the game. There's no new content per se, bar the last 3 years of updates and DLC, but it certainly sounds like a much better experience from a technical standpoint. The new edition boasts 1080p resolution in handheld, 4K in docked, faster load times, and boosted frame rate. Water shadows and reflections have now also been enabled, and there's power to render more boats on the screen at once. So, cool stuff there. If this is one you already got in your collection and you're on Switch 2, get that free upgrade. And if not, I mean, hearing that something is a combination of No Man's Sky and Wind Waker seems like a pretty good combo there. So might be worth checking out if you're looking for something to play at the moment. Cross Progression coming to Hitman World of Assassination next month. This is coming at us from Nintendo Life. And it says, for now, here is the full list of everything included in Cross Progression: experience, player level, challenges, location mastery, unlocks, and inventory, achievements, trophies, freelancer mode progression, campaign story progress. And of course, just to be crystal clear, here's what won't be included: game license, DLC based unlocks, leaderboard scores, save games offline and online. So there you go. If you happen to have a save on another console that you're further along, you can now bring it over. Or if you were thinking about picking it up handheld but didn't want to have to start over again, now maybe this is the reason to go ahead and pick up another copy of Hitman World of Assassination. Moving right along, we got Doug Bowser in the news today. Former Nintendo of America president Doug Bowser joins Hasbro's board of directors. The article from Nintendo Life says following his retirement as president and COO of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser has now joined the board of directors for toy manufacturer Hasbro. This news comes directly from Hasbro itself, with the firm confirming the appointment of Bowser alongside Carla Vernon, CEO of The Honest Company, a digital first consumer good company founded by actress Jessica Alba. Hasbro, of course, is much more than a toy manufacturer and owns trademarks for products of Kenner, Milton Bradley, Parker Brothers, and Wizards of the Coast. The latter company is responsible for the ludicrously popular Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, while huge brands like Transformers and G.I. Joe also fall under Hasbro. So interesting stuff there. If you start to dig into the history of Nintendo and Sega in particular, or also like the the president of Sega of America, Tom Kalinske, worked for Matchbox prior to jumping in with Sega. And so these toy and entertainment companies, they're all kind of connected in certain ways. If you want a little bit of homework, look up the connection between the Nintendo Entertainment System and uh oh my goodness, it's on the tip of my tongue. Uh it was a bear that could play cassette tapes. What is that? What is the Teddy Ruxpin? Teddy Ruxpin, yes. So look at the connection between Teddy Ruxpin and Nintendo. There's some interesting stuff there. On it had to do with distribution and different deals that were made. There's so much that goes on in the behind the scenes. The if you so I highly recommend picking up Console Wars, right? I'll do a quick plug for my book. Maybe some of you guys are new and don't know that I have a book out there. It's called Another Castle. If you go to n64josh.com/another castle, you can get it for free. Or it's n64josh.com/audible. You can get the audio version for free. But if you stick around for another month, with Audible, I suggest picking up Console Wars because you're gonna get to hear some crazy like stuff that you only think would come out of movies is happening. Like I believe it was Kalinske was in like Spain or something, and they were making Matchbox cars that were not authorized. And then, like when they saw that he was there, it was like he had to get out as quickly as he could. It's really like the opening of Console Wars is fantastic, like so good. Highly recommend. So, uh, yeah, let's see. So Steak says so. Ted confirmed DLC for Mario Kart World. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. No question there. No question. All right. Well, moving along here. Nintendo boosts its reach with another Nintendo Today update. You guys ready for this? The 2.3.0 update is just this. Now available in Argentina, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. So there you go. There you go. That's it. No other updates other than it's just getting into some more locations. So very cool there. Very. Moving on here. This is an app I check literally like daily. So this is kind of cool. Getting into some of the history of the Pokemon games. The article title from Nintendo Life says Pokemon's Game Boy development process took a great deal of trial and error. Realizing the simple concept with limited resources wasn't easy. It says the development process, however, was not quite as easy. It took a great deal of trial and error to figure out how to actualize this idea with the limited resources we had available. In the end, it took 6 years to complete the first games, Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green. Still, we felt confident in the main gameplay elements that would become the foundation of the Pokemon video game series: catch, raise, trade, and battle. So, and this is coming to us from a special message during the New York Game Awards, and a really cool stuff. Like I love getting to hear more about the history of these games. And Pokemon's turning 30 this year. We've got like so many anniversaries this year, with Pokemon being one of them. Lego has started to put out some crazy Lego sets from Pokemon. Everybody's kind of wondering, what are we going to see from Pokemon, me included. And even just looking at a few of the like related articles here, you can see like Hershey teams up with Pokemon for new collectible chocolates, and we got a couple of those bags, and seeing Mew and Pikachu and different Pokemon on the Hershey Kisses. That it was great. Just adds a little bit of fun to some snacking. But so interesting that six, like, we think 6 years. That's what we're used to now. To get these games developed. But what an amazing foundation they laid for Pokemon. That simple formula of catch, raise, trade, and battle. Like, I don't know that I've ever really like thought about, like, broke it down like that and thought about it, but that's the foundation for the game. I mean, obviously, it's what you do. I don't really think of raising them all that much. It's just you're just just leveling them up, and then they evolve. But I get what they're after. And the other thing is too, like, to be a kid when Pokemon came out, like a young kid. I was in high school, so I was kind of missing the boat there. But like, to have the cartoons, the movies, the games, all that kind of stuff going together, like, that was like a dream come true, honestly. Like, you guys heard me talking the other day about the Disney Afternoon collection. Like, I was running off the bus to try to not to miss, DuckTales or Transformers, but then to get to play those games. I remember in particular, Ninja Turtles was huge for me because I loved watching the cartoon and then getting to play with those characters. Not only the action figures, but also in game, right? And so, like, what a just so much nostalgia tied to Pokemon. And Nady Nay says Pokey nah. Oh, right, all right. Nate's like, get off my lawn. That's what Nate's all about. So, Steak said, I was 7, so many trades at school. I love that. Right? I love, like, I can see the draw. I can see all the fun that would have been had growing up with this series. Like, I have it's not like I don't feel like I, like, missed out per se. Like, there was so much fun to be had with, NES and Game Boy and Super Nintendo and Sega and all that kinda stuff. Like, but the draw to be able to play against each other and battle and just all that, like, I totally get it. I totally get it. And I mean, I'm hooked now. Like, you know, 30 years later, I'm completely hooked. But growing up with it, I can totally see the draw and how much fun that would have been. So, pretty cool to see. One of the things I love seeing is the fact that, like, whenever Nintendo seems to have their backs against the wall, or development studios with, like, the limitations of hardware, sometimes you really get to see some ingenuity and, like, some fantastic ideas come to life due to the limitations. Because I think, looking back, Pokemon Yellow was one of the first. Like, when I bought my Game Boy, I bought Pokemon Yellow and I bought, Mario Golf. Those were my 2, the two my first two purchases when I picked up the Game Boy, and it it didn't feel like a limitation. It felt like they had nailed something, with all those different Pokemon. And I mean, kind of thinking about it, like, yeah, that's a lot of sprites. There's quite a bit to it. There is quite a bit to it. So the fact that they were able to pull it off and pull it off so well, love that kind of stuff. Love that kind of stuff. That gets into, you know, why why Mario and Mario 3 and Mario 2, all those, like, it's just they work within these limitations, and then they end up making something very, very special. And so I'm here for it, and I completely get it. Kirby Air Riders getting its first update of 2026. Here's a little blurb. It says we plan to release an release update data for Kirby Air Riders soon. This update data will include bug fixes, balance adjustments. After the update, it will no longer be compatible with replays of the update data version 1.2.0 or earlier. So you will need to be so you will not be able to play replays that have already been saved in temporary save data or replay with data in replay. If you have a replay that you want to keep, please record on the playback settings screen of the temporary save data or replay with data before downloading the update data and convert it to a video file. A micro SD express card is required to use this function. I don't know that I've seen anything like that in a game before. So that's kind of new. I don't know if I'd seen that requirement in any in any game. So interesting stuff there. I looking at the top of the article here from Nintendo Life, says Kirby Air Riders on the Switch 2 is content complete, but it's not done with game adjustments just yet. Although fans were informed the team would be disbanding soon, game director and video game legend Masahiro Sakurai mentioned in December how there might be one more round of adjustments. So, what do you guys think about Kirby Air Riders a few months later? Right, like it's it's one of those games that I'm glad it's there to pick up and play, but I did not see many conversations around this game after launch. Like, it really kinda, like, came and went, and so I I do kinda wonder if there's, like, somewhat of an underground scene for this, and there is a handful of people playing it, or if a lot of people are kind of in that boat of just like, "I'm glad it's here. I'm glad we can jump in when we want to," but, outside of that, it's not something I'm playing all that much. I've seen a few posts on X of people saying like, "Yo, I tried to log in and play, and it's just filling up with bots." There's not even people, really playing the game online. Like, it is fun, but it really does feel like a party game, like a Mario Party-esque kind of, just, like, not a whole lot to sink your teeth into outside of the multiplayer, although they did a pretty good job with, like, adding so much to unlock and things like that. So, just, just interesting to um, see it kinda fall off so quickly. So let's see. Nate says that game was 70. I just can't. Yeah, and you're not alone. Not alone. Steak said micro SD card required for game on the system where micro SD express card is the only storage expansion. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Exactly that. Exactly that. So very, very interesting stuff there. And I wonder if this will be the generation where we start to see more sales from Nintendo. Right? Where we start to see some of these first, like, these year 1 games that, like, maybe did a couple million in sales, 3,000,000 in sales. If they'll start um, getting put on sale sooner than later to move more software. So, we'll kinda have to wait and see, but because we're coming off of a year where you've got Mario Kart and Pokemon, big hitters, heavy hitters, but then Donkey Kong, Metroid, and Kirby, Hyrule Warriors, they're all, they're not quite as, they're not hitting quite as heavy. as, like 3D Mario or regular Zelda, that kind of stuff. So, interesting stuff there. Well, this is always a bummer hearing this kind of stuff. The studio behind the Sonic Boom games on 3DS has been shut down. This is coming out from Nintendo Life, and it says they've already been multiple layoffs and closures in the opening weeks of 2026. In case you missed it, Meta, formerly Facebook, last week announced the closure of three studios. Apart from Armature, one of these developers was Sanzaru Games, which was acquired by Meta in 2020, had been working under the Oculus Studios in its Reality Labs division. If the name doesn't ring a bell, the California based team was one of the developers who worked on the Sonic Boom games, which included 3DS titles Shattered Crystal and Fire and Ice. For working on these particular games, it helped out with multiple Sly Cooper titles and was founded in 2006 by former Activision developers. So, as reported by Bloomberg, this closure is part of Meta's plans to cut more than 1,000 jobs from its Reality Labs business, which was working on Oculus VR hardware and software. Twisted Pixel, located in Texas and known for such games as The Maw, Miss Splosion Man, and Marvel's Deadpool VR, were also impacted. So, I really don't like seeing that kind of stuff. It's such a bummer, and it looks like Armature. I don't know how old this is, just from Friday. So Armature Studio, founded by Metroid Prime devs, was another one that was shut down. So interesting there that a handful of the devs from Metroid from Retro ended up forming that studio, and that it's no longer a thing. So Cryptic says VR never took off the way devs thought it would. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like it's like it's kind of like I look at it kind of like Kirby Air Riders. It's like it's one of those things that it's fun, but like personally, I don't love sitting with goggles on, and I don't really care for the controllers. Like it's just not. I don't know. I'm excited for Virtual Boy, just like Nate, but you know that's about the extent of my VR. It's not like it's one of those things. I feel like if you fully invested in VR and you had that where you could like move around and walk and like try to give yourself that fully like Ready Player One experience, that's pretty cool. But like to sit in your chair or just stand up in your living room, uh uh shaking, moving your hands around and stuff, like I don't know. Wasn't it not something I needed to rush out and get for myself. So maybe one day, even when I tried the Ghostbusters games at I think it was TwitchCon. The Oculus was there showing off a bunch of stuff, and just none of it really appealed to me. It really didn't appeal to me. So but what's up? I see Brandon is here. I see Army Life is here. Welcome on in. Good to see everybody. Cryptic, of course. And Nate saying VR has been around forever and has always sucked. Virtual Boy getting no love from Nate here. Moving on here. Nintendo Music adds another legendary Zelda soundtrack. Here's every song included. We got The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. An hour and 31 minutes of music. Great game. Loved Phantom Hourglass. Couldn't put it down. Couldn't put it down. Loved Wind Waker. Loved what they did. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of the stylus controls, it was still a very fun Zelda game. Very fun Zelda game. And I hope more people get to experience it, honestly. I hope Nintendo does something with the NSO to get DS games on there and give modified controls. I mean, the option for mouse would work with a game like this, but it would be rough to have to play it that way, you know. And so I know there's a lot of chatter around the second screen becoming a thing eventually for Switch 2. And but we still have to come up with some kind of a stylus. Now, Switch 1 did have a stylus. There was a Mario Maker in other regions came with a stylus so that you could create, in handheld, but I don't, I wanna be able to play this on the TV with controller in hand. So, I see James is here, says, "I'm still rooting for a remake of Zelda Oracle games being remade." Yo, I'm there with you. Right there with you. Like, I mean, you guys have heard me say it a million times. New games, I loved Echoes of Wisdom. I would love to see I kind of view Echoes of Wisdom as somewhat of a continuation of, of, like, eh, Link's Awakening, right? Even though it's like it's separate, and it looks like it's very much taken from, like, the end of, uh the NES or the Super Nintendo game, and I'm sure the lore is there, I just haven't dug into it. But with Ganon and Link, I would love to play the game, like, if it's not one of those 2 games, I would love to play the game that is the prequel to Echoes of Wisdom, and then I would love Echoes to technically be the middle game and have a 3rd game where maybe even there is a like a two-player co-op mode with Zelda and Link at the same time. Like, I would love it. I would love it. So, but the Oracle games remade in the style of Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, I'm all about it. Any of the classic Zelda games, if it's low-hanging fruit and it's something that they can get out quickly so that we have more Zelda to play, I'm all about it. But I do want new games, right? That's always first and foremost is new games for me. Uh Let's see here. Army Life says Zelda 40th anniversary. That's right. That's right. So, prequel to Echoes. Yeah, James. I would love to like anytime I see something like a any kind of story elements in a game that we're not experiencing, but we technically could be, I'm like, "Oh, that could be." I don't know about you guys, but I love stuff like Rogue One where, like, it ends and episode 4 begins, like, I'm here for it. I think that kinda stuff is super cool, so super, super cool. Low-hanging gash yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, let's see, moving on here. Nintendo highlights enhanced games on Switch 2. So it says since the arrival of the Switch 2 last June, Nintendo has served up enhancements for multiple first party games. They come in all sorts of updates and optimized visuals, HDR support, and Joy-Con to mouse controls. So let's take a quick. It's just take a quick peek at this. It's just a minute long video that they put out. So it just says enhanced on Switch 2 for just the audio listeners here. They're showing Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. You got enhanced visuals, Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. You got Mario Odyssey, optimized visuals, HDR support, and game share support. So also cool. Scarlet and Violet, optimized visuals, which the game looked way better, like way, way better. And Echoes of Wisdom. We were just talking about this one. Optimized visuals, HDR support. I need to take a peek at this one. I haven't I haven't seen what it runs like on Switch 2. You got game share support on Clubhouse games. No visual upgrade. Toad's Treasure Tracker, optimized visuals, HDR support, which is fantastic. And so and that's not even their full list. They I'm looking at the article here. There's a few like Splatoon 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Some of the games have a little paywall behind them, others don't, but I just want this list to continue to expand. And what I would love to see happen as well, you guys have heard me say it a lot, is to see NSO get Switch 2 treatment as well, to see some more of those games get you know, uh, at least maybe boost the frames on some of them, and, like, where this kinda stuff could really shine is with the N64. So, would love to see that. Love to see that. So, let's see. Um, yeah, Army Life says, "Animal Crossing on the Switch 2 feels smooth as butter after the, enhancement." Yeah. Uh, I was watching Jasmine play yesterday, and her island is so decorated that it would stutter as as you as you moved around, and now it doesn't do that. And what was crazy is there were things she went to go hit a rock yesterday. Before she even hit it, something popped out, like, some of the, materials. And so we were just like, "What is going on?" Like, this thing's ahead of itself. So, uh, it definitely runs very, very smooth. And so I I still wish they had bumped it up to 60. It's not that the game is, like, super fast paced or anything like that, but, the smoother the better, in my opinion. Army Life's asking if I played Luigi's Mansion, I'm assuming 2. I've played, like, 3 quarters of the way through 2, but on my 3DS. I haven't played much on I've played a little bit on Switch. I've played about 3 quarters of the way through 3, which I highly, highly recommend. It is fantastic. So, Nate is saying Astral Chain needs it. It looks bad in handheld. Yeah. And that's really, I think, where you really notice some of the stuff is when you're playing handheld. It really, really comes through. So, the more the merrier as far as that goes. Uh, I don't know if you guys saw, I put out a short, showcasing, Devin Pitchford as she makes her first public appearance as the president of NOA. And so she gave, like, just a nice little message at the 15th annual New York Game Awards. It's fun. I mean, you can see that there's some of the script that she was reading may come off a little bit corny at times, mentioning that sometimes the bosses are gnarly, But as much as that might come off corny, I'm here for it. It's very, like, maybe it's cringe to some people. Some people would probably say Reggie was kind of cringe, right? I don't even really like that term, but I'm okay with that. I think Doug was amazing. Like, seeing his conversations with people on X, he just wasn't a very, like, front facing, like, you didn't put him on camera much. And he just, it's just not his. You can't assume that everybody, just because they're a CEO or president, that they want to be on camera. Like, he was given very PR answers when he was interviewed, and you know he had to weather the storms of COVID, and so he did some great things for the company, no question. Devin worked under Reggie. Reggie's just fun. Like, he's just fun. And so she seems like she's gonna be fun. The comments are so crazy, all over the place with what people think, but, like, she bleeds Nintendo. Like, she's been there for, like, 20 some years, 15, 20 years. Like, it I think she's gonna be great. And I loved the little message, cringe and all, if you will, because it, it you can tell she's fun. The message came off as fun, and so I'm here for it. Even though it is, yeah. Nate said all these people are talking heads. Everything is carefully said with PR. Yeah, yeah. James says rest in peace, Awada, and thank you for your years, Reggie. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Steak said he wasn't a PR front facing marketing guy, more traditional president. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And Devin's a marketer. Reggie was a marketer, all about that disruptive marketing. Pushing for things like the pack in with the Wii, and getting Wii Sports in with the Wii. Best is like that. Literally, that decision. Could you? w- The conversation around the Wii would be a much different conversation if people had to go and buy Wii Sports. It changes everything in my mind. The ease, for the consumer, especially when you're talking about, like, a lot of older adults were drawn to the Wii because of Wii Sports, and it just becomes easy with that pack in. Like, it's I mean, that sold it for me. That sold it for me. Steak says it may have saved the Wii in North America. I mean, there's a very real possibility, right? Very real possibility. Cryptic says, I think we put too much stock in presidents being front faced on camera. I don't mind if they didn't say anything or if they want to be on camera. That's fine too. I think where the expectation is, it's when you look at the Reggie Iwata era, they were working with Robot Chicken, they were working with puppets, Jeff Keighley was helping them get those puppets, and it was just a very fun time, right? Like, them doing those remember when they were fighting each other on stage and so I think that's what people they kinda just look back on that kinda stuff fondly. And so they want that kind of stuff. By no means do we need it. It's just kind of fun. And she seems fun. I think we're gonna see. I would be willing to bet we will see more of her in directs. And I believe it's Kozumi that we see the most right now, and maybe he'll share some of the spotlight with her. So we'll just have to wait and see. James says the Star Fox skit was amazing. Absolutely. Steak said it made the Wii unstoppable for everywhere. You saw it in old folks' homes, daycares, after school programs, etc. If there was only one game, it was Wii Sports. Yeah, yeah, and that game alone sold Wii remotes, right? Like everybody wanted as many Wii remotes as they could get. So just such a weird and wacky time for Nintendo. But again, it's when they it's almost like when they put the restraints on themselves and try to think outside the box on how gaming sometimes it really pays off, other times it doesn't. Other times it doesn't. Look at the Virtual Boy, which we'll all get to go hands-on with here very soon. So, Brandon says, um, "Devin seems dope. I hate that we have little children getting mad at her for literally nothing." Yeah, like the comment section was crazy. I was like, "Yo, I'm not even I'm not I'm not even this is people are way too excited here, one way or the other." So, Cryptic says, "I like Reggie because he pushed Nintendo to make changes and not be stubborn with pack-in titles, etc." Yeah. Yeah, he really did. He really did. And, he like, I don't know if you guys have read his book. He didn't even like the pricing of the 3DS. He was like, "It should be 199." And, you know, they they wanted it to sell for more. He got a lot of pushback. He tried to get that to he's like, "I know, you know, it" and retailers wanted it. There's really interesting details if you get into his book. It's really, really fun. Really, really cool. So, highly recommend it. Um, and again, like, he reads it, so if you like I mentioned my book earlier, if you guys pick that up on Audible, you can get it for free if you've never signed up before, then get Reggie's book also is fantastic, like, so, so good. So, Jack says, "I think we know a little more about COD on Switch 2. Modern Warfare 3 Remastered has leaked, is rumored to be announced this week for a March, April release, so lines up with a few months away claim." Oh, interesting. Very, very cool, Jack. That'd be like that's fine. Like Modern Warfare 3 is not one that I played all that much, but just to have a Call of Duty of some kind, like to get their feet wet, bring it. I'm ready. I am ready. Steak says when your back is against the wall, can come up with some of the best ideas because what you have to lose. Try anything mentality. Yeah. Yeah, no question. No question. And then when you try to ride that wave and you don't even change the name of your system except for to add a U to the end of it, also gets very confusing. So, Jackson Reggie was so pro consumer and such a great leader and business mind. He knows the West is price driven. Yeah, no question. No question. So great, great stuff from Reggie. It was a like I said, go and check out his book, you guys. It's really, really good. So this last thing that we'll that we'll look at from the news here, and then we're just gonna chat for a little bit, like do some Q&A or whatever. Random from Nintendo Life. An adults only island has been deleted from Animal Crossing New Horizons. You guys ready for this? A risque Animal Crossing New Horizons Island, aimed at adults only, has been deleted by Nintendo after more than 5 years. Uh, this comes courtesy of creator Chirp underscore CCC. Uh, and it says, who posted on social media to confirm the deletion, stating to Nintendo, I apologize from the bottom of my heart, or rather, thank you for turning a blind eye for more than 5 years. Uh, so here's what it says. Actually, just a day before the update, the dream address for the adult island was deleted by Nintendo. To Nintendo, I apologize from the bottom of my heart, or rather, thank you for turning a blind eye for more than 5 years. To everyone who visited the island and to all the streamers who showcased it in their videos, thank you so much. And Nate says, I can't believe they shut my island down. So I had to include this one just because it made me laugh. And I'm not even going to play the video right here. If you guys want to go watch it, by all means, because I'm not quite sure exactly what we're going to see if we click play on that. I want to touch on one other thing from this morning. I thought I had it's really funny. Disney's terrible DS game, Cory in the House, is now selling for hundreds of dollars on eBay. This is what's crazy to me. 4 years ago, this game, Cory in the House, was in stock at the Walmart where I have a timeshare. I'm not even joking you. I almost bought it because I'm like, what are the chances of finding a brand new DS game in like 2022? You know what I mean? Like what? Just crazy. So, uh I thought I thought Nintendo Life had an article for it. I may have sometimes the way their articles move around, they're a little bit strange. No, here it is. Here it is. It was just I wasn't seeing the picture. Ball Pit. You guys, Ball Pit's first free content update bounces on to the Switch next week. So it is a free major update. You're getting 2 new characters, 8 new balls, and a bunch of new passive effects. So you can get even more random from your runs. So if you play Ball Pit, make sure to check it out. Now, from here, I'm gonna do a few. Like I'm just gonna focus on chat, you guys. So if you got any topics you want to bring up, by all means, I would um, love just to take a few comments here before we wrap up. And I see that Steak said you missed my redemptions. So I can't see them in the chat that I see. It doesn't show me any of your Twitch redemptions. So if you type them in chat, if there's something you want me to do, I don't know. Did you redeem Dab? So uh let's see. Oh, Cryptic says, "Wow, I got the 4K update just for them to take my fun away." Here we go. Here we go. Nate says, "We need Panty Party 2, Victoria's Secret." Here we go. Here we go. He redeemed the dab. There you go. That was my dab for for anybody that redeemed. I figured that's what you did. But speaking of Panty Party, I got accepted to PAX East, you guys. So expect some streams soon where you guys can control what I play, and we'll start raising some funds for that probably in the next week or two. So if I know you guys, I know you love this time of year where you get to punish me with all your favorites. So, and I'm honestly scared uh of some of the games that I've seen getting released onto the eShop. Very, very scared. So, but yeah, poor Cryptic just just got the 4K update and he lost his island. Him and Nate were that's where they'd hang out most of the time. That was the one thing uh keeping keeping Nate in Animal Crossing. What's at PAX East this year? I'm not even sure yet. Nintendo's always so late to announce that they're going. So I I imagine we're gonna see plenty from Capcom, they're always a big they're always a big uh they show up in full force at every PAX, it seems like. Pokemon's been kind of quiet the last few years, but PAX East a few years ago, they were the main attraction for Nintendo and TCG as well. So I don't know if they're going to make their um, if they're going to make an appearance this year or not. So we'll kind of just have to wait and see what happens there. But Nate said I had my pinch zoom ready. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So all you were selling turnips for was the adult island, trying to get all those single bells before you went over to that, that adult island. You guys are honestly crazy. Just absolutely wild. Wild. I noticed in game you can make stacks of cash. They probably had those all over that island, be my guess. I gotta hop on YouTube and see what the fuss was about. I honestly love the response that it was like, "Yo, thanks for turning the blind eye for so long before they got rid of it." I wonder, like, I wonder if it was a blind eye or if they really had no idea until somebody stumbled across somebody else's video, you know? That's what I'm thinking probably happened. But I wanna ask you guys, what's everybody playing right now? You guys, getting ready to pull the trigger on Final Fantasy on the Switch 2? What, what's everybody playing? I've been playing a little bit of Ball Pit. This weekend, I hardly touched games at all. I'm starting to record an album, and so I literally wrote, recorded, and started mixing and mastering uh, a song. Played a little bit of Fortnite. So, Army Life says making kids cry in Fortnite. I love it. That's great. HVAC Sparky coming at us from the trades. I love it. Says I'm just playing No Man's Sky on Switch 2. Pretty good. Nate says no Final Fantasy here, playing Astral Chain and Doom the Dark Ages. Love it. Great. I've also been trying to enjoy the football games, the playoffs these last few weekends as well. That they've been pretty good. Cryptic says I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws. It's been great with cross progression. Doing main missions on PC, doing side missions on Switch 2. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's kind of cool, a cool way to play with the cross progression. Like that's really cool. I need to fire that one up, honestly. I'm still trying to get some Mario Kart in here and there. I did do a little bit of Animal Crossing as well. I really dove in with both feet on Animal Crossing. Um, so that it's really good to be back into that. But taking a look at chat, Jack says Seahawks are looking good. They really are. They really are. I'm probably a pretty like I'm a kind of a I'm not your average like sports fan. Like I've always loved the Bills ever since I was a kid, so I really wanted to see them win. Um like all the and because of playing super play action football, Thurman Thomas was a beast and he was the running back for the Bills. So I was always cheering for them as kids. But like the more I get to a peek behind the scenes into some of these different players' lives, I'm like, there's kind of a cool human element to all of it that like, you know, I think Christian McCaffrey from the 49ers just seems like such a cool dude. You know, some of them aren't like some of them are a little like, you know, not the best people, but they're there are some pretty cool cats out there, and, I saw a short this morning of, like, the Bengals quarterback, and he's just hilarious. He's just somebody was like, "Happy Wednesday." He's like, "I suppose," you know, just like and everybody just cracked up, like, he's just a funny dude, um, so yeah, I'm not, like, all one team and, you know, if I win, they win, or they win, I win, yeah, nah, like, I'm just, uh I'm just enjoying the entertainment. So, Sketches of Harmony says, "Yo, Josh just finished Indiana Jones, Tesla Guard 2, and Tasamachi, I think. passion project from the artist of Breath of the Wild. Oh, all great. Trying to get through some smaller indies. That's fantastic. Love that. Love that. Nate says I'm playing Newborn Parent again. Yeah, that's busy. Busy. Cryptic says I'm excited for RE9. Was kind of hoping the trilogy pack came out this month. Oh, that would have been cool. That would have been cool. At least 7 and 8. Yeah. Yeah, and the amiibo for what's Pragmata? Is that what it's called, I believe? That I saw that dropped today. At least you could pre-order. I think it was Deku deals. You could pre-order from GameStop through them, I guess. So, Army Life played the Dragon Quest demo. There you go. Yeah, there's a lot to play right now. A lot to play. So, really, really, really cool stuff. And yeah, and I'm still like we're playing Fortnite almost nightly, having a good time with that. So, I think we're actually gonna start a channel where we just record our sessions because it's pretty funny. So, um, oh, HVAC Sparky says I've been meaning to go back to this, but I also tried the new Fire Emblem on NSO, Path of Radiance. I think it's not bad actually. That's right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, a lot of people have been liking that. Um, Cryptic says, "How have you been, Josh? You still trying to figure out a schedule for everything and what content produce?" A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I went so hard last year, and it was kind of a test. It was kind of a test to see like if I could really get picked up in the algorithm. There's not much more I can do for podcast reach. The search, like outside of outside marketing, right? Like if YouTube grows, the podcast will probably grow. Um, but I couldn't get like I've I was trying to do so much to just try to get it grow that I'm like, all right, we're knocking out like 2 to 3 shorts a day. We're gonna do one episode of NPC and and we're just gonna kind of let it run and just see I'm not putting like any pressure on it anymore. We're just having fun. That's it. That's it. Because for the longest time, it's been all about the like, this has got to go. I need to make this a thing. I want this to pay my bills. And uh now I'm just like, you know what? It's if it happens, cool. If not, I'm not gonna keep myself under that pressure because it starts to take the fun out of everything. So I just want to have fun, play games, talk about games with you guys, avoid as much online drama as possible. And the YouTube space is just kind of strange because it's just like you have to follow trends, and if you're negative, you get more clicks, and that's just not me. Like we're just gonna have fun, and we'll do an episode a day, and it may turn into an evening show. It may stay the morning show. I may mix it up a little bit. It's like this morning, I also ran into issues of like the school was delayed by 2 hours. Well, that's literally I have to leave in the middle of my recording time to run kids around. So Nate said copium. Somebody ban him. Somebody ban him. So, Sketches said, "Nice to have the positivity." Yo, that's literally what it's about. It's there's that fine line of making sure like I don't want to like the whole like toxic positivity, that kind of stuff. Like if something's not vibing with me, I probably just won't even talk about it that much or kind of just like speak on it briefly and then move on to what is. So, um, Cryptic said Seahawks just took my Niners lunch, was hoping for a good game. Hopefully next year. Yo, I used to have a uh an ongoing bet every time the Niners and the Seahawks played between me and my buddy from I met him on Xbox. Met him on I think on Xbox 360, like Rainbow Six 3 or no, that would have been regular Xbox. Might have gone back that far. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, he was a Bay Area guy. And so we had an ongoing the whole NFC West, like, crazy this year, like, just crazy other than the Cardinals, but I don't know what they were doing, but everybody else, so, um, Jack says the positivity what makes it great. Hey, let's go, baby. That's what it's about. I just wanna have games are fun. We're just gonna have fun talking about games, and what I like is that we all don't agree at times, I may look at something a little bit, um maybe from a little more positive light than others. Some like a- and so we can find some good balance. And that's why, like, even if you guys have chats that disagree with my take, I'm still going to read them because somebody else may like to hear, like, if you've got more like time with a game than I have, or you're not interested in it because of X, Y, or Z. Like, there's nothing wrong with those takes. So that's why, like, um, we can look at all those different takes and not have any issues. So, uh, Nate said the Niners broke more ACLs than records. Yeah, yeah. Cryptic says, yeah, I feel like since the holiday break, I've just been sitting down and gaming more. And I just like I got sick over the holidays. I was like, I just kind of got like I kind of stepped back a little bit and just took um kind of just took inventory of everything, and I was like, okay, I need to focus a bit more on rest, right? Cuz I'm with work and gaming and playing music and putting out content. Like, it's very busy days, and also trying to make sure I put time into my relationships and that kind of thing too. So uh um let's see. Sketch says, how much does any of the negative stuff really put us out there anyway? It like it it what's Here's what I found. When it comes to content, if you take a hard stance on things, you will get a group of people that will gravitate to those hard lines. If you hate Nintendo, you love Nintendo, you hate PlayStation, you love PlayStation, whatever, Xbox, you name it. And uh can't do it. I don't see the reason for it. I play my Xbox. If there was a big draw for PlayStation games, I'd play it. I love God of War. Like, I love those series. So, uh, and and at the same time, the people that are doing some of this, some of them are doing it for clicks to make the money. Some of them really believe in the stuff that they're talking about, and you know, none of it's that serious to me. So it's just video games. When you start really digging into the business side of things, and like, this is just entertainment. It's just entertainment. So that's all I'm about. Um, uh, Nate says, I definitely understand some of the negativity, but don't understand harping on it. Yeah, we're the way I see it, like, when you look at all the price of everything, the cost of everything, like, it's kind of like a sit back and wait, see what happens. Is this going to be successful enough that they can continue on this way, or is there going to be some backlash, and we get to see how they backpedal, and how they make those changes. It's also just a really crappy time with like RAM and storage and all that kind of stuff. It factors into all that stuff as well. But uh, you know, so we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. Exactly, Jack. Yes, exactly, exactly. Cryptic says, "Yeah, I don't understand the hate. If you don't like AAA, then you can look at indies, get your fill there. Games are so affordable. There's always something from $10 to $80. Yeah, and sometimes less even, right? Sometimes you get Vampire Survivors, which is like hours of fun for like $3. So yeah, never a better time to backlog. Exactly. Exactly. Or I mean, even like games like Fortnite, free, Apex, free, Warzone, free. Like, I mean, they'll get you eventually, especially if you gotta hit the gritty on somebody. Or like me, I gotta hit HOTTOGO or whatever. Because there's nothing better than watching Master Chief uh hit that emote. It just always makes me laugh. Always makes me laugh. So, lots of fun stuff though. But you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. And I will catch you guys all very soon. Remember, as always, wait, I saw one more chat. Hang on. We got to back it up. Nate said Sonic might be coming to Fortnite. I hate it. Now I have to re-download it. Let's go. Let's go. And Jack says I meant to say I'm playing DK Bonanza for the first time and loving it. Love to hear that. That's amazing. That is amazing. So so cool. All right. Well, you guys have been the best. And as always, play it loud.